Hi guys, it's Andrea from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and today I have 6 different Christmas decorating hacks that I want to share with you. Whenever I share Christmas decorating videos, I get a lot of questions about how I hang garlands and how I hide cords and things like that. So I thought I would just share a few tips with you guys today, and hopefully it'll help you. I'm sure most of you have already decorated by now, but maybe you can save this video or head to my blog post in connection with this video and pin some of these ideas for later. The very first one that I want to talk about is when it comes to hanging greenery. People have asked me a lot if I use command strips or if I use like nails. What do I use? So for my mantle, since it's wood and kind of rustic, I don't care if there are holes in that. So I use those brass cup hooks. I find that those work the best. So since I like to do a lot of layering and I add a lot of different things to the greenery that's on my mantle, it becomes very heavy, and I want something substantial, something that's gonna really hold that greenery up. So that's what I use for my mantle. Now, I do hang greenery in a few other places. For example, above my sunroom doors, I just put little nails into the trim. No one is ever gonna see those holes. But the main place that I get asked about the most is the archway leading into my dining room. In years past, when I started hanging greenery in that archway, I used command strips, and it didn't matter how heavy the command strip claimed it was supposed to hold. There's something about the plaster where the command strip would it would pull away from the paint would separate from the plaster, and it would create this huge bubble. It would rip off not only all of the paint, it would rip plaster off of the wall, and I was just left with this huge gaping hole on my archways. And it was a huge mess that I had to clean up, and I finally said, you know what, I would rather just use a cup hook for these archways. It puts a tiny little hole into the plaster. I fill it with spackling. I don't even touch it up with paint every year, and I've just switched from command strips to cup hooks. And I feel like that works so much better. That's really the only place where I'm putting holes into my wall for Christmas. Everywhere else, like above my cutting board display, I'll just put little tack nails up there as well to hang greenery. So that's my first tip for you. Those cup hooks are magic. I use them all over the place and I love them. I do use command strips for something though. I love to use those really little command strips, and this is my second hack for you. I use those to hide long extension cords. So whenever I have an extension cord hanging and I just want it tucked away and neat and hidden, I buy those really little clear command strips, and I will just clip the cord into those little command strips, and it's perfect. It enables me to hide my cords. So that's my second tip for you. Now, when it comes to hiding cords, another creative thing that you could do is just use decor to hide cords. And that's something that I talked about last week in my living room video. I had a long cord coming down the archway, and one year I put battery operated lights in there so I didn't have to deal with this, but I just love the plug-in lights. They're so bright and cheery, and I really wanted to use those this year. Sorry, Isaiah's waking up. So I actually put some old skis and I hung some stockings on the board and batten with some tacks, and that really hid the cord that was coming down from that archway. So that's another thing that you could keep in mind whenever you're decorating for Christmas. He's kind of talking right now. All right, so that is number 3. So number 4, my fourth Christmas decorating hack for you is to use twine to bundle up groupings for swags around your home. So I really love mixing real cedar with faux cedar, with pine clippings, all different kinds of branches, and I use just basic twine from the dollar store to wrap all of those up. It's perfect. You can wrap it a bunch of times, interlock the stems together. I did that on the greenery above my stove this year. I did that on the swag that's hanging above my window in my kitchen, above the sink, I'm sorry. Can't talk. And I also did it on the swag that I have hanging in my entryway this year with the bells. So twine just comes in handy whenever you're wrapping several different pieces together. And then what you can do once you have that twine all wrapped up around those branches, you can hide the twine with a really pretty ribbon. So I just take some really big ribbon, wrap it around the twine, tie a big bow, and it's perfect for hiding, you know, whatever you just did with the twine, and it's just something that I use for Christmas all the time. Especially like if you can't hook your greenery up into like a cup hook, you could tie a little bit of twine around your greenery and use the twine instead to wrap around the cup hook. So that works well also. So my next hack for you, let's say that you do want to add lights somewhere, but there are just no outlets anywhere. It doesn't matter how long the extension cord is, it's just gonna be awkward, it's gonna show, but you really wanna add some twinkle. There are two different lights that I love using. One of them are some battery operated lights that I will link for you below. I use these in the boys' room this year on their shelves above their bed. I love these lights. Again, they use batteries, so you don't have to plug them in. And then there are another different kind of lights that I love to use, and they use a button battery. They don't use AA's, but these are connected to this like wire, and I love putting these little twinkle lights, or fairy lights I think is what they're called, all over my home. So I used these in the little basket in my entryway just to add a little bit of twinkle at night, so that when we look over there in the evening, we can see some lights in the entryway. But I don't have any cords that I have to plug in or anything like that. So that's another option for you. I will link both of these sets below. The little fairy lights I got on Amazon, and I am obsessed with those. I can show them to you real quick. I've got the bag here, let me pull them out. Mine are kind of in a tangled mess right now. I have to untangle them. But you can see them here. And my boys, I'm gonna have them help me just spread these around the house. You can put them on shelves and just wherever, and they just add a little bit of twinkle and magic wherever you place them. So I really love using these. Okay, so my very last Christmas decorating hack that I wanted to share with you has to do with tree stands. A lot of times, or like the base that covers your tree stand, tree base. I probably should have looked this up first to see what the correct terminology is, but the tree stand that came with the tree behind me was a little bit too large, and I really wanted to put this tree inside of an old metal bucket that my mom gave me. She had it in her garage, she wasn't using it, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it would be so cool to put a Christmas tree in, but none of my tree stands or tree bases, whatever you call them, would fit into this bucket. And so I had my husband just make our own tree stand. Really simple. You just take a 4x4, and he screwed a 4x4 to a scrap piece of wood that he cut out, and then he used a certain kind of drill bit. If my husband was watching this, he would be so disappointed in me. I will put all of these details in the blog post with photos so you guys know exactly how to build one. But he drilled that into the wood, and then the tree just slid right into the 4x4. So think outside the box when it comes to you know, hiding that tree base. I know a lot of people, or tree stand, some people like to just use blankets. I've seen people use scarves. I've seen people use all kinds of things. Blankets, I said blankets. But yeah, this really neat metal bucket is something that I just love the look of. And just by creating or DIYing your own tree stand or base, it helps you to be able to be more creative when it comes to what you place your tree into. So that's my last little hack for you guys. But I hope that these tips and tricks helped. If there's something that I forgot about or I did not answer, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. If you have any hacks, please share them with me. I love hearing what you guys have to say. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all next time. All right, bye-bye.